And welcome to another update video. Today we want to cover NVIDIA, obviously one of the very interesting stocks around at the moment, and I'm observing this one myself. Therefore, I thought I'd share my analysis about the NVIDIA chart. Charted this last week and just want to complete it here with you together. This is the long-term chart, started actually in 99, quite crazy sometimes to look at tech stocks that far back. Certainly was a winner back then of the the millennium chaos around the tech stocks at the time. But we have a 1-2 setup at the time. Yeah, we have this 1-2 setup which bottomed in 2002. And at the time we talked about 60 cents. Nice one. And then we're basically still in this larger third wave. So it's a fairly bullish chart overall. At some point we should get a decent wave 4 pullback, and that could come very soon, to be honest. We're going to take a look at when roughly in this particular video. But we have a wave 1 within this larger degree third wave. We have a wave 1 here in 2007, then a wave 2 to the downside here 2008 low at around $1.46. And then here a third wave rally. And by the way, I need to change the wave degree of the internals as you just see. So this third wave rally took from 2008 to 2021. So we talk about a long time where price really, rallied in a third wave, like 25,000%. Pretty good. And we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one was complete. I'm pretty certain about that. I'm pretty sure about that. Now again, you can always be wrong, but that's a pretty nice wave 1, wave 2, and a pretty nice third wave. And we can count pretty well 5 waves up. So now it's getting interesting because we're looking now at this wave 4 here, which bottomed in 2022, and this wave 5. Now, for me, this fourth wave is quite short, is quite shallow. Okay, so if we talk about Fibonacci retracements for a fourth wave, so if I measure that, we typically would like to see the 23.6 Fib level at least in a wave 4. Yeah. Okay, over such a long period, sometimes you don't quite get there. Wave 4s can be shallow, but this has gone quite high now. It looks quite impulsive, but I cannot rule out the possibility that wave 4 never finished. Okay, again, that wouldn't be bearish, but it would mean that a bit of a setback is coming soon. And a bit of a setback should come soon anyway. Now, I have no indication it's topped yet, but either in this wave 4 or if this is only a high B wave, in this wave 4 still. So what can of course happen, and that would be my, let's say, fallback scenario, that this here was only an A wave of wave 4. And I tell you why in a minute. That this here is a high B wave. And we come down in a C wave. I zoom in a bit. So we come down in the C wave a little later and we'll finish off the wave 4 at possibly here $96. Yeah. This would be a substantial decline, of course. It moved down from 21 to 22 significantly, obviously. It's now recovering. So just be aware this can happen, right? This can happen. The fact that it didn't quite get there. So it's not a good sign if it doesn't adhere to the fibs. So this could just be the A wave. Sometimes you get very shallow wave 4s. Now, it's not only the retracement, it's also the fact that I can actually count 5 waves down. So I can count a wave 1, I can count a wave 2, I can count different ways of doing this, but possibly a 3, ABC flat in a 4, and then a wave 5 down. So I can count 5 waves down. So it really, it might be an A wave, right? Then you would say, okay, but an A wave that has 5 waves, you would not get an overshooting B wave. It should be 3. Yes, in theory, yeah. But yeah, I'm just thinking this is a possibility. I've seen these structures before where the A wave had 5. Bear in mind, Elliott wave, you deal with practice, Elliott wave for practice and Elliott wave for the academic one. But there's no point discussing academic wave counts here, right? It's all about what's relevant for practice. And I can only highlight to you that there is certainly a chance that this is a B wave top, especially if I look at the wave count. If I count, I can count it as an ABC. So you could say this is an A wave up, this is a B wave down, and we're now moving up currently in a C wave, which could basically have topped now, or will have topped, nearly have topped. Yeah. And, then let's go to the maybe let's go to the daily time frame. Yeah, and then I've got a tiny, I would say I've got a tiny, well here 1 2. Now this is the first 1 2 setup. Then I've got here a 3, a 4, and a 5 to the upside. So I certainly have enough waves to count an ABC structure. Oops. So yeah, just want to highlight that possibility. Yeah. But it doesn't make such a great difference in practice, because at some point we will approach this third wave top here as well, and then we will get a wave 4 down anyway, and that would be of a similar retracement as this one. So there could be quite a bit of a move down, but again, this can extend further. Yeah, if it's a fifth wave, it can extend further. So what is really worth doing? Well, it is worth doing it's worth to understand what are the relevant support levels against which we can go higher. And it's certainly not this swing low. That's too far away. So we want to have a fib level that's much closer. So let's take a look at that. Now, what would be a bullish count? Because that is currently the primary. I mean, my primary would be that we are in the fifth wave. It just has impulsive characteristics. And as long as we are holding certain support levels, we can focus on higher. So what would be, just think, yeah, what would be a bullish wave count here? How would we fill in this fifth wave? Just to get an understanding, if we are in the fifth wave, how high can we go? Okay, so we would then say that this is likely a 1-2 setup. This top in December 22, and in January 23 we came down to wave 2. Then we'd say we have a wave 3, but I'm going to count the subwaves in a minute with you. We should get a small wave 4 here at some point, and then a wave 5. So it seems like we're still in the third wave. We take a look at that in a minute, but this is sort of roughly where we are. So based on this, especially that gap would tell us that we're still sort of in a third wave. Yeah? So it tells me that there could be a tiny wave 4, and we need to understand the support level for this one, because if that breaks, it means that we likely have a B wave top. I hope that's clear, because if it's a 3-wave move and it breaks support for wave 4, with the fib levels we can define relevant support for wave 4. So if that breaks, then we have a good indication that something more bearish is going on. We come down in the C wave quite dramatically, most likely. Yeah. But long term, this chart is good. Yeah, it's a decent chart, absolutely. So looking at the subwaves, I mean, so let me just see where we could, I guess this would be a small 1 2. Then I would say 1 2 would probably place a third wave somewhere here at the top, 4, and then yeah, here another 1 2. Yeah, I mean, somewhere here you should be looking at 5 waves up. So I think there's a good chance that this wave 3 is nearly done. We might really do this last wave here as something like an ending diagonal, maybe within this fifth wave, so it can still squiggle a bit higher. But there's a good indication that, if we break below that $400 level here, we could say this fourth wave might have started. Yeah, I mean, at the moment it seems like it's still pushing higher, and I have no indication a top is in place at this stage. Just be aware of that. Now, what we now need to define is the relevant support for this fourth wave. So against which level can we still expect one more high? Now, we can see because of these extensions and how high this one went, the fourth wave is actually not that tiny. It can be quite dramatic, actually. So in this pullback, if it's a wave 4 which is coming, we might talk here about, again, a pullback to the 23.6 Fib level. The ideal target would be the 38.2, and the 50% is the maximum. So it can take roughly a 30 to 40% drawdown, and you would not really know if it's bearish or if it's still bullish. So that tells you a lot about the risk. Yeah, if someone's here maybe leveraged, or you have a position, you've made massive profits, then you need to know, okay, for me to understand that it's actually bearish and we get a much deeper drawdown, price from here needs to break, well, yeah, it needs to, it can go down 43% and still be in the current scenario. That tells you a lot about, okay, you know, do I want to take some profit? Do I want to reduce down my position? Whatever. But the trend is still up. Be aware of that. So I can just tell you the relevant support against which price can move higher. So as long as we're holding $247, this can push higher. And that also tells you that if a pullback starts, it can be quite deep. Now, this is only an estimate at the moment, because if price pushes higher in the current third wave, which it can do, because we haven't got a confirmed top in place, still up, the trend is still up, then we have to adjust this higher, you know, if it goes higher. Okay, you can see how these stretch out. And yeah, that's sort of it, you know, and I can really only give you a target for this fifth wave once we have the fourth wave low in place. And then at some point we get this quite strong fourth wave. And that makes sense because the Nasdaq is also at a pivot point, and the S&P. And then we should get one more high. Yeah, I'm not suggesting it goes to $5,000. I mean, well, it might be, but that's stuff for the future, right? But then after that fifth wave, you are looking at something like a crash, because this would be the next bear market here for Nasdaq, basically, a real bear market. So Nasdaq hasn't really had a bear market. NVIDIA, sorry. NVIDIA hasn't really had a bear market. I mean, down here maybe in 2008, of course, yeah. That will be something similar where price can drop 70 to 80%. Yeah. Okay, maybe not that much, but 60%, yeah, because this would be a large wave 1, these 5 waves. And then we come down in a wave 2. A wave 2, yeah, normally retraces 60, 70, maybe even 80%. Good. That's my update about NVIDIA. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.